Well, hello there, it's Keith here, and today I'm doing a bit of gaming for a change. We're going to be playing Cotton Rock and Roll, aka Superlative Nights Dreams Cotton. So this was released in Japan on the 23rd of December, and I've been giving it a bit of a playthrough over Christmas, and I thought I'd show you it today. The reason I'm particularly interested in this game is this is one of the two games that inspired my Chibi-Akuma's game. Chibi-Akuma's was basically trying to take the humour style of Cotton and mixing it with the gameplay of the Death Smiles game, Death Smiles 1. So I'm a big fan of this game, obviously, and I wanted to just show it off because I thought maybe you'd be interested in it. Okay, if I wait for whatever this is doing, we'll start the game up. I'm getting a demo there. Okay, so if we start the game, we'll play the story mode, obviously, in normal difficulty. The difficulties get progressively harder, but it never goes to the total. It's never quite a bullet hell shooter in the same way as Death Smiles goes. But we have this character selection screen now. This is quite interesting because we've got all of these characters from. These are the two classic Cotton games. Now this is a character from Umihara Kawase, which is a totally different game. It's not a shooter, but they've brought the character in. And then we've got these ones who I don't honestly recognise. That's the last boss of this game. But I don't know who the other characters are, but the important thing about this is the gameplay is actually quite different depending on the character you select. The way that the bullet mechanics work, the different fire modes, and one of them's even got a sort of timeout where you have to keep collecting power-ups to keep enough time left to play the level. So that's quite good. Now here we have the story mode. There's like a cartoon. The cartoon is the same whichever character you select. So here we've got the revolutionary story of the game, which is all of the willow has disappeared, which has totally never happened before. So the country is in peril, and we have the legend teller here saying that when all of the willow disappears, that will appear. And we have a silhouette that might look surprisingly similar. But they don't believe this. They think it's just a legend. Of course, this is the exact same plot as the first game, and I will tell you in advance, the plot is extremely sarcastic, as you can possibly guess from that image. So. Yeah, I was very impressed by the cartoon strip. The original ones, the cartoons weren't. They were good, but the plot wasn't that amusing as such. It was okay, but it was never that funny. But this one is completely ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. I got a good laugh out of it, to be honest. So basically they're saying all of the willow has disappeared, whatever. I still haven't figured out what willow's supposed to be, but Cotton wants to eat it. We're getting the Cotton introduction. The cartoon style's changed a little bit. It's sort of more cutesy this time, very slightly. It's not that much different. The Cotton character's about the same. The Silk character, the fairy, I think it's Silk. The character's head's a lot bigger, but it's still very much the same character. Generally the same design, and it was always a very, very comical game, shall we say. It was always quite silly like this, and this introduction is virtually identical to the first one. Very, very identical to the first one. But the cartoons do change, are very different from here on out. It does take a different path, and it's quite funny. Anyway, so we have a level select there, and we only have one option for the first round, but after that we get a variety. And the thing with this game is that every time you play it with a different character, when you complete it, you get an extra bonus level unlocked that you can pick. Now, the game is quite tough, but you have infinite credits, so it's sort of not, which is good because it allows you to unlock all of the levels without any real problem. You have the training mode where you sort of have a life limit and things so that you can see how well you can do with a constrained number of coins and things. But so the graphics, it's interesting. I quite like the graphics in this, which the reason I'm sort of surprised by the fact I'm saying that is the first Death Smiles was a 2D shooter, and then the second one was a 3D shooter, and I didn't like that. I didn't really get the same feeling from it, whereas the Cotton reboot was a 2D shooter, and then this is a 3D shooter sequel to it. But it still keeps the same feeling of the same game, even though they've migrated to 3D. And part of that is the 2D cartoons they've put in. They do occasionally, as the sort of start of the level, they have a sort of 2D fly-in. But the 3D style is still very cartoony and does still maintain the same kind of feel as the original, even though the graphics are now done in such a different way. Now, the level style changes quite radically. This level is very much in the sort of cartoony gothic feeling of the original game, and there are quite a good number of levels that keep that style. However, the end of the game is very different, and we actually end up in space, which I would complain about. Say, Death Smiles, they changed the theme to this sort of weird Halloween theme, Christmas theme for the second one, which I could have liked, but it didn't really feel like it worked in the end for me. Whereas this one, because the style overall is more one of humour than sort of, gothic horror, I can accept the fact that they end up with this weird space theme at the end, and also there are a good number of levels that do maintain the original style, even if there's a good number that don't. So again, I don't particularly mind that. So now we get the tea time phase where we've got to collect all the tea and regain some life. So that was the first level. What I say, it's a fun little thing. Bonus. I don't quite understand how that works. So after every level we get a cutscene, but the cutscene doesn't change irrespective of what level we select on the next level select. And as I say, whatever player we selected, we always get Cotton doing the dialogue, which isn't a surprise considering the standard of the cartoons here. They've done a good job with the cartoons, not only from the point of view of the drawing, but the animation and things. They've done various little sort of scaling effects and things, which is going beyond what some games would have done. They've done a really nice job of it, and I won't spoil the cartoons or anything. The game does support multiple languages. Because I'm learning Japanese, I always play them in Japanese mode, but it does have English and things as well. So we've got quite nice little cartoons and very much in the style of the original. So the blue options on this map are the default levels. The yellow options, the gold options, are the ones that you get extra when you unlock playing a different character. And so we'll play B next, and then I will leave it to you whether you want to buy the game or not. So as I say, I don't know if there's more levels to unlock. I've played it through with all of the characters, but I don't know if there's other unlocks if you do a perfect run or anything. I've played it on the hardest difficulty and the easiest difficulty, so I'm not aware there's any more to unlock, but I can't say there isn't. Anyway, here's the second level. There's a couple of nice little touches to the game. Firstly, the Cotton character you'll hear just sort of occasionally starts sort of bibbling complete nonsense, which is very much the character style, about whatever's happening in the level at the time, so that's quite a nice little touch. And also, you'll notice that the background of the 3D, occasionally you'll see it sort of turn and pan, and there's various scenes where there's a part where a giant bird drills through the floor and things, and so you'll see various changes to the scenery and things. Now the fire mode, which I've been talking too much to worry about playing properly, but the fire modes, there's sort of three options here. This is the default fire. I've then got the second button, which this character uses a bomb, but other characters do other things. And then the third one, if I hold this down, I move a bit more slowly, and then we use a magic attack. But again, that one does vary a little bit on what it does, depending on the playable character. So the game does have a lot of replay capability for at least the first 5 times, because as I say, you can play through as all the other characters, unlock all the other, very well there, all the other extra levels, and you get a good play through with the different gameplay styles. But, I was very happy with this game. The Cotton reboot, the original one, was very good. It was nice to see the improved graphics of the game. Oh, there's the bird flying to the floor. It was very nice to see the improved graphics of the game, but I was glad to see that they did actually create a new game with a new plot, which I was, sometimes like Death Smiles. Why hasn't there ever been a Death Smiles 3? They've re-released Death Smiles 1 and 2 as a new game on the Switch and PS4. Are they actually ever going to create a new game, or are they just going to keep recycling the old one over and over? Now, the other thing with Cotton is recently there was a Cotton Saturn Resurrection or something. I forget what it was called. It was it's basically the two Cotton games on the Saturn that have been ported through an emulator onto the Switch and various other systems, possibly. Now, there is a third game in there that's not a Cotton game, and I was going to do a review of that before I realised this had come out, but that game itself, I mean, those games are perfectly good, and I don't think they justified a full reboot, so it's perfectly acceptable that they're running them through emulation, and the emulator is extremely good. But it's compared to this whole new adventure with these, whole new 3D graphics and things, I think this is definitely the one to buy. So unless you're a hardcore Cotton fan, I'd just play those on MAME probably, which does a very good job of emulating those games anyway. So I'm playing quite badly here. As I say, this really nice game. Good variety in the boss battles. Lots of nice touches to it. As I say, if this is the kind of game you like to play, if you've enjoyed any of the others, I'd certainly recommend it. If you're more into the really hardcore bullet hell shooters, the harder levels of this are very difficult, but the bullets are very fast and very big, whereas my sort of imagination, my sort of understanding of bullet hell shooters tends to be lots and lots of very slow moving bullets, and you have to sort of, carefully weave through them, whereas the speed of the large bullets on this one, that doesn't feel so possible to me, but maybe that's just because I'm not a very good player. But I'm perfectly happy to accept that as the answer to it. But as I say, Death Smiles on the maximum level never looks like Cotton on the maximum level. So if you're really into the absolute Dan Master bullet hell shooters, this doesn't quite give that sort of feeling. Anyway, that's all we're going to play today. If you're interested, take a look at this game. I believe it's coming out worldwide, so have a look. Anyway, thanks for watching, and goodbye.